you are watching this video, it is because you are about to make an offer on a home, more than likely your first home to make an offer on, so congrats. So what I'm going to do here is I've got a playlist of videos that I'm going to share with you, and it's going to be probably 4 different videos that are going to go over like the 4 main chunks of the Texas real estate contract. Now, I always have to tell you at the beginning of these videos, I need to tell you that you should have an attorney review this contract before you sign it. But this is just kind of based on my understanding of the contract, and I'm going to share it with you now just so that you have a much better idea of what you're signing today. So let's jump right into it. So I'm going to start with paragraph 1, and I'm going to go all the way through paragraph 24, and we're going to cover a lot here. So right now in this video, I'm going to go over paragraphs 1 through 5, and those primarily cover the property and the money. So here we go. So let's start with paragraph 1. So paragraph 1 is parties to the contract. So you'll see the names of, oh, and by the way, I'm going to be highlighting in green throughout the contract just some of the like really important highlights that you need to pay special attention to. So just pay special attention to that stuff. So paragraph 1, parties to the contract, you'll see more than likely the seller's name or names and the buyer's name, so that's you. Those are the parties to the contract. Paragraph 2, this is the property. So when we say you're buying this property, this is what we're referring to. So paragraph 2, subsection A, or paragraph 2, section A, this is the land. So the first thing you're buying is the land. Now this is the legal description of the land. And just trust me, this is the actual legal description of the land when you see it on your contract. And you'll see in at the bottom here of that section, this is the actual address of the property. Okay, so you're buying the land under the property. The second thing you're buying is what's called the improvements to the land. So this is like the structures and the things attached to the land. So here's what I always like to tell people. Like imagine taking the house, flip it upside down, and shake it. The things that fall out of the home are not automatically included with the sale, but the things that stay inside of the home, the things that stay attached, those things, most of them are automatically included, and those are called improvements or attachments to the property. So if you want to know what those things are exactly, feel free to read that paragraph, but they're things like, ceiling fans, like carpet, the plumbing. Obviously the seller's not taking their pipes with them, stuff like that. Okay, now section C, this is a special category of things called accessories. So these are examples of things where like if you turn the house upside down and shook it, they would fall out, but we treat them as if they're attached to the home. So some examples of those things are, like garage door openers, like little clickers, keys, above ground pools. I always think that's interesting. And my personal favorite is artificial fireplace logs. So I just always think that's funny. Now, if you skip down section D, this is another special category of things called exclusions. So these are things that like should stay with the home, like they're attached to the home and should go with the home, or we call it convey with the home, but we don't want them to be included. So like, we might say, hey, we get it, like your grandma's ugly chandelier is supposed to stay with the home, but we want you to take it. So we would list things off in this section if we wanted the seller to take them. But I very rarely include anything in this paragraph at all. Okay. Now, also what you're buying with this home is any like oil rights, mineral rights, stuff like that. But just FYI, in Texas, almost nobody has mineral rights. But if you did, that would be included. Okay. So that's the property. That's what you're buying. The land, what's attached to it, and any accessories. Okay. Now, paragraph 3, this is called the sales price. So what you'll notice here is we've got the down payment plus the financing amount, which should equal the sales price in line number 3. Okay. So those numbers should look familiar to you at this point. And if you're financing the home or you're getting a mortgage, if you're not paying cash, you'll also see that the third-party financing addendum box is checked, which we can talk about another time. Okay. Paragraph 4, license holder disclosure. that's where we would disclose if I were related to you or if I were a party to the, or not a party, but if I were like going in on this purchase with you, which more than likely I'm not, and if I am, you should know about it. But we probably won't include anything in this paragraph. Okay. Now, paragraph 5. This one's really important, and I'm kind of going to combine paragraph 5 with paragraph 23 here, and then we'll be done with this video. So paragraph 5 is the earnest money. Okay. So here's what you need to know. If we make an offer and your offer gets accepted, my team and I are going to collect my team and I are going to collect 2 checks from you, okay, in the next few days. So the first check is called the earnest money check. The second check is called the option check. So let me real quick explain what those things are. Okay, so we've got the earnest money check is customarily 1% of the proposed purchase price. So in the blank here, where you see how much the earnest money is, you should see about 1% of the proposed purchase price. That's what's customary here. And that check gets made out to the title company. Okay, so for now, think of the title company as like a third-party money holder for the entire transaction. Okay, so that check, whatever it is, 1%, that gets held with the title company. The second check is called the option check, and the option check buys you an option period. Okay, so the option period is a negotiable number of days where you get to decide if you want to buy the house or not. Okay, so how do I want to explain this? So typically in Austin, an option period is about 5 to 10 days. So you get 5 to 10 days to decide if you really want to do this or not. It's all kind of a function of the situation that we're dealing with the current property we're looking at. And typically an option fee is anywhere from $100 to $500. So let's say we pay the seller $250 of an option fee for 7 days of an option period. Okay, so in that 7 days, we're going to do our home inspection. We're going to see if we can negotiate any repairs. We're just going to decide if you really want to do this or not. And if you back out for any reason at all during those 7 days, for example, you lose your option fee, so you would lose the $250, but you would get reimbursed your earnest money deposit. Okay, so you would get reimbursed that 1%. That money is just there to ensure that you do not default on the contract. Okay, so let's say you go through the option period and on day 13 you say, you know what, actually I think we don't want to buy this house. The seller might decide to go ahead and let you terminate on this contract, and if they do, they're definitely going to keep your 1% earnest money, but they don't have to. If they want to, they could tell the title company to keep your earnest money, and they could actually decide to go ahead and sue you for what's called specific performance, and they would like make you buy the house. So I always tell people, make darn sure that in your option period, you figure out if you really want to buy the house or not. Okay, now let's say a third option happens. None of that stuff happens. So let's say you go through the option period, everything works out, and you actually buy the home. Well, if you go through with the purchase, your option fee as well as your earnest money get credited toward your down payment. Okay, so you get it back in a sense. So I hope that makes sense, but suffice to say, the earnest money is that 1% of the proposed purchase price that you're going to deposit with the title company to make sure you don't default on the contract, and that gets deposited with the title company. And so we're going to pick up both of those checks from you probably within the first day or two, but we have 3 days to get them delivered after we go under contract. So I hope that helps. That's a little bit about the property and the money. And let me know if you have any questions on that. And our next video will be about title. Woohoo! Good luck.